Hello and welcome back to Snap Revise. Now with exam season approaching, you should be regularly testing yourself and going over all of your revision for all of your subjects. For today's video, I'm going to be giving you some final exam preparation tips that you can put into place between now and when the exams begin in May. So you walk into that exam hall feeling as confident as you possibly can. Since you have just recently gone through some mock exams, you should be in a pretty good position to start preparing for the final exams. If you want to, you can check out our video just here about how to learn from your mock exam results and form a revision plan going forward. But if your exam didn't exactly go your way, then there's plenty of time between now and May to turn things around. What you can do now is use this video to form a checklist of things to work on over the next 3 months. Everything in this video should be enough for you to be thinking about, and if it's not, then you can always check out all of our other videos that give you advice on revising for your A-levels or your GCSEs. So the very first thing that I recommend you do for this next stage of revision is to check your understanding of every single subject that you have and all of the topics within those subjects. Your mock exam would have been a good test of your understanding, but because exams don't touch on every single topic, you'll need to go through the rest in your own time. Topic tests are a fantastic measure of your strengths and weaknesses within your subject and are a good place to start for your final exam preparation. If you have the Snap Revise flashcards, then you can use these to test yourself on each of the topics. If not, you can just have a Google and see if you can find topic tests online or in textbooks. Basically, any way that you can test yourself by topic is great. We just want to get a feeling for which topics need a little bit more work. You should dedicate a few revision sessions to this and be really brutally honest with yourself when it comes to the results of your tests. Don't be lenient in your marking. We really want to identify what needs working on. Now, what you want to do is record the results of these topic tests using a table like this one on screen. You want to record when you took the topic test to track our improvement as we go along, what results you got, which topic you covered, and then in the final column you want to be very specific with areas that need to be improved. If you can be as specific as possible in the improvement column, this will save you time when you come to sit down to revise because you don't have to think about what needs covering, you've already written it down in that column. For example, if the result for your topic test on biological molecules wasn't that great, then you want to record exactly which part of the topic you didn't do so well in, whether that's proteins or enzymes, maybe even relate it to a specific specification point, and then use that point to form a plan going forward to cover that again and more frequently until you can get it. You're going to want to use a table like this regularly. Once a month is a good starting point, but if you are really hot on your revision, maybe once every fortnight or once every 3 weeks, just to make sure that you keep on improving and not just covering the same things that you always get right. Sticking to that schedule as exams approach will really pay off, I promise. You should really be seeing improvements each time you sit these topic tests, because that means that you're learning from using this approach. In addition to doing topic tests to identify areas for improvement, you also want to have a little look through your specification. The spec is written out very clearly and simply compared to exam questions that ask you to apply that content. If you can't recall that simple bullet point from within your specification, then you are probably going to struggle to answer an exam question about that subject. What you need to do is ask yourself if you fully understand what the specification point is saying and if you're able to apply that understanding into an exam context. And this is a simple yes or no question. It's one thing being able to simply recall the information within the specification. It's another to actually properly understand it and be able to apply it to any situation that crops up when you sit your final exam. And remember, you need to be able to identify it in an unseen context. This is especially important if you're sitting an OCR or an Edexcel paper where unseen contexts come up very frequently. A real understanding of course concepts is what will get you those higher grades, because it shows that you've put in work above just memorising what you're learning in lessons. It should also reduce the difficulty you have in answering certain exam questions, especially longer questions like the 6 markers or the 25 markers if you're doing AQA, and it will make synoptic linking much easier. Once we've tested understanding and identified areas to improve, we also want to place a real emphasis on tackling the harder concepts. Areas that you have a lesser understanding in are naturally going to be the ones that you find harder, but instead of shying away from these, you need to tackle them head on and turn them into concepts that you find easier. To do this, you just need to use your notes or other revision resources to really firm up that information in your head and then go on to test yourself, because this is where the memory gets strengthened. If you find that your usual methods of revision aren't working to get these harder concepts in your mind, then you might need to take a different approach. Essentially, what you need to do is take things right back down to basics. What don't you understand about the topic and why? This might sound obvious, but if you can't really nail down exactly what it is that you don't understand, you're not going to be able to work towards solving that. I guess this is a bit like checking your understanding. The harder topics are just ones that you don't properly understand yet. Once you've identified gaps in your knowledge, then that's the part that you need to go back over quite intensively to really secure that information in your head. And at this stage, I'm talking repetition and active recall. Make sure that your revision is various, that you use a variety of approaches to it. You can check out this video just here, which goes over some effective A-level revision techniques that you can use to tackle these harder concepts. The real learning occurs when you have basically forgotten a concept and then you're forced to recall the information from the depths of your mind. The longer you can leave between learning the information and recalling it, the better that memory is in your head. This approach works for question styles too, so if you sit exams and find that you consistently struggle on a certain style of question, whether it's multiple choice or some of the essay answers, then you can use these approaches to tackle that problem as well. Make sure that you're getting advice elsewhere as well. If there's a certain topic or a certain exam style question that you really can't get by yourself, ask your friends or your teachers. Other people are brilliant when it comes to trying to tackle things that you just can't get your head around, because they provide an alternative view on your problem and therefore provide different solutions to your problem that you just weren't seeing. If you do manage to get a one-to-one session with a teacher or a friend, ask as many questions as you possibly can about these harder concepts. And make sure that you're receptive to the response as well, so really take note of what the person is talking through with you. By the end of your one-to-one session with whoever it is that you sit down with, you shouldn't have any questions left at all. Really use that time effectively. Make sure that you're building practice of harder concepts into your weekly revision schedule. Don't shy away from them, please don't avoid them. In May, you really don't want to be going into the exam praying that a certain subject or a certain type of question doesn't come up. Instead, you want to go in feeling as confident as you can be to tackle anything that is written in that paper. Therefore, the final thing that you want to be working on is your exam technique, especially in these months before the exams begin. This is something that can easily push your grade up by streamlining your approach to timed questions and managing your stress. We actually have a video about exam technique and pointers on how to build this into your usual revision schedule so that you're as prepared as you possibly can be for exams. And you can watch that just here. But basically, from now until May, you want to be doing as many past papers as you possibly can. And you want to do them under exam conditions rather than working through them at a leisurely pace. Getting used to the timing of the exam and identifying the pace that you need to work through exam questions will pay off big time in your final exams. Please do use the table that I talked about earlier on in the video to track your progress as you go through these last few months of revision. Hopefully the final time that you have a look at this table, there shouldn't be anything that needs to be improved. That's what we're aiming towards. If this all sounds a bit overwhelming for you, then Snap Revise is here to help. We are going to be delivering A-level revision and exam prep seminars in the month before exams begin to give you a final boost. There will be exam technique sessions and our expert tutors will be going over the harder concepts in maths, biology, chemistry and physics. Our expert tutors are experienced teachers and really know the ins and outs of their subjects. You will also have access to our tutor messenger service throughout the event, which basically means that anytime you have a question, you can send it over to a tutor who will give you tailored feedback. Really take advantage of this to fill gaps in your knowledge and to get rid of any confusion that you have about anything within your A-level subject. The cherry on the cake for this event is the seminar booklet, which helps to guide you through the day and also comes jam-packed with extras for you to take home, like topic tests and mock paper questions. You really won't want to miss out on these seminars, so head to snaprevise.co.uk/seminars to book your place either at the in-person event or for the live stream. Thank you so much for watching. For even more help with your exam preparation, check out this video just here. And if you haven't already, then subscribe to Snap Revise just here to keep up to date with all of our uploads.